I think that especially coming off of dry January, during a time when people maybe tried to look at reducing their substance use or reducing their drinking, we see especially around this time of year, especially for men, difficulties start to surface around being able to not manage their substance use and having a hard time coming forward and asking for help.
Yeah, why is that? Is it a pride thing? Like what it kind of keeps them from getting the help they need?
I think part of it is pride, feeling like they should be able to manage this on their own, especially when we talk about drinking. If they see friends and family being able to manage their drinking and they're not able to do it, part of it is maybe feeling inadequate, like what's wrong with me? Is there some kind of character flaw? And we know that's the furthest from the truth, because really what it comes down to is, for most individuals with substance use, it's an illness that affects the brain, really changes the brain's physiology, and without treatment tends to get worse and worse over time.
Well, and from what I understand too, it creeps up on you slowly. Isn't it something you could think you have a handle on and then one day you just don't?
Certainly, it certainly does. I think there's a lot of things that play a part in that. Part of it is family history. We know that family history plays a part. We call it genetic predisposition. We know that, if you have a family history of substance use disorder, having that first drink or using that first substance can really activate that pathway in the brain that is tied to that genetic predisposition or family history. But it's more than that too. It's really things like what we call co-occurring disorders, depression and anxiety, you start out by being self-medicated with substances, but then get exacerbated by the continued substance use, and pretty soon you have two separate but relatable disorders that need to be treated.
Why do men have difficulties with substance abuse disorders?
I think there's a few things that play a part in that. Really going back to looking at what a substance use disorder is, we've known since the 1950s it's an illness that affects the brain. It really changes the brain's physiology. It causes certain neurotransmitters in the brain to not operate correctly or over-operate. And, for men as well as women, if you have that disorder, the most important thing is to recognize some of the warning signs so that you can get help for it as soon as possible.
Yeah, what are some of those warning signs?
So there's a few important ones. The first important one is that you're not able to stop using on your own, that you're needing to continue to use. Another one is physical urges, or what we call cravings, especially as you stop drinking or stop using substances. You feel the need to continue to use them. It's hard to not use them. A third is needing to use more of a substance to get the same desired effect, and that's called tolerance. And the last one, and one of the most important ones, is despite negative consequences in your professional or personal life, you continue to use substances. So I would say if you see any of those things happening for you, you should reach out and try to access services.
Because I know people would say, well, I don't drink before work, it's only at night, or maybe it's even on the weekends, but that doesn't preclude you from necessarily having a problem, correct?
Correct. And it's really about, what are those negative consequences you're experiencing, and despite them, do you continue to use substances? I had one person tell me once, for them not using would be similar to me holding my breath. At some point I would have to breathe. And for them, at some point they would need to use substances. It didn't feel like a choice. And because it's a medical condition, and most of the people that I've worked with who've recovered or developed recovery plans from a substance use disorder will say, I didn't choose to have a substance use disorder, but like other medical conditions, you do choose to follow recommendations to manage the illness.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it might be bad or harmful for yourself, but you can't stop from doing it.
Right, correct.
Okay,
yes.
So how do people get help?
Yeah, so first and foremost, only about 20% of men who need treatment reach out to get it. And so at Gateway, we really want to change that statistic. We want to make it as easy as possible for someone to access help. So at Gateway Foundation, we have a 24-hour call center that they can call anytime to ask questions or get information about services. We have services across the state of Illinois, both outpatient and residential services. We have specialized programs for alcohol use disorder, for co-occurring disorders, for trauma. So we really want to make it as easy as possible for people to access services as quickly as they need them.
And the great thing is people can reach out via phone and not feel that necessary embarrassment that they're trying to seek help.
Exactly. And we've been doing this now for 55 years. And I know that people who may be watching this might say, oh, it seems so overwhelming, or it feels like this will never change and this is just who I am. And that couldn't be furthest from the truth. We've seen thousands of people achieve their recovery goals. We see moms, dads, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, friends, neighbors. There's really no discriminatory components to substance use disorder. And so a lot of people need help, and a lot of people sometimes are afraid to come forward. So we really want to make it as easy as possible, and we want people to understand that treatment is individualized. What people need and what their recovery goals are can be very different from person to person. So we really offer comprehensive, holistic, evidence-based programs to help people meet the goals that are most important to them.
And if you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, you can reach out to Gateway Foundation. Their number is on your screen, or find them online at gatewayfoundation.org.